It should be a quick meeting.
Right. 6 o'clock. It is. All right, 6 o'clock, Monday, June 8th, regular meeting of the city council. Call the meeting to order. Roll call. Derwin,
Here.
Gagnon Palick,
Present.
Mike Netlin,
Present.
Cody Bjornson's here. Bill Hodge is not in
He
attendance, is he?
Not yet.
Not yet. And then Keith Forney is absent. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and then we got a little addition on the agenda. So we got Chris here. We're gonna have an update from him. We can make that H under consent agenda, but it'll be separate from the actual consent agenda. The informational. And then the closed session needs to be scrapped and go to the 29th because I did not receive evals from my council members. Only one. I got one.
I know, I apologize. I
I didn't
completely forgot
get it
about it.
from anybody else, so I can. We'll have to,
So do we have one for him too?
yeah, it'd be him and Laura.
No, I mean, we have a form to fill out,
Yep.
eval form.
Yep.
Do you need one, Derwin?
Yeah, I need one. I need one for her and one for you.
I will print two tonight for you.
Yeah.
Move that to the 29th.
Okay.
So item 15, we'll just move to the adjournment instead of closed session. And then just make sure I get those at least the Friday before that meeting. So I can compile. Anything else on the agenda?
Amy's not gonna be here.
No.
I'll just wait till the next meeting. Just had an issue with the Jake brakes again. A couple people have come to me and said, what's going on here? It's steady. All you have to do is pull over 3 or 4 of them, the word will get out around the area, especially in the trucking business.
Yeah.
Don't Jake and Monaga, you're gonna get a ticket.
Those CBs will be chattering.
Right.
I'll bring this up tomorrow morning, sync. Let them know.
I know she's trying to get on top of it, but it's getting ridiculous. The guy took his Jake and started on the curve coming in on Monaga, on 87. From there all the way past our place, I could hear him going into, making that second turn. Just about 71, yeah.
Well, they do it from the north all the way up to Hunker or Shell.
Okay, anyway, we can address that, but if you're gonna address it with her tomorrow, that'd be awesome.
Will do.
Okay, thanks.
Just what the problem is being there at the time.
I know you gotta catch them in the act. And I don't know if the sign should say out there, I know they got vehicle law or vehicle noise laws enforced, it should have, and no Jake brake below it.
It won't make any difference. Then they'll say, well, it's not a Jake brake, it's a compression brake. I mean, there's a million ways around it. So anything else for the agenda? That ask for approval of the agenda as amended.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All right, and we've got nothing on the public forum.
No, sir.
That moves us to the Greenwood Connection yearly audit.
Hey, sounds good. Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for having me tonight. My name is Ashley Brandt Duda. I'm a partner with Eide Bailly. So overall, had the responsibility of the Greenwood Connections audit for, we're presenting here. The year ended December 31st, 2025, and then we have the 2024 comparative statements in as well. So really what I'd like to do tonight is give you a high-level overview of the audit, including the financial statements. I did go through this in detail with the nursing home specific board as well. So if there's anything I don't cover, I'm going to just do the overview in the interest of time, but would be happy to cover any other questions or any other pieces or, anything else that anyone would like to cover after we go through the general summary here. So you'll see the financial statements that you have in front of you are technically in draft form. They are done, ready to go. It was really just pending the approval at the meeting tonight. So we'll go ahead and get these finalized after the meeting with all of you tonight. We will be issuing what's considered to be an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, which is the best opinion that we can give, essentially saying that the financial statements of Greenwood Connections, in our opinion, do present fairly in all material respects with generally accepted accounting principles. So clean opinion, which is great. Like I said, the best opinion that we can give. As far as the audit itself, you know, the process went very smooth. The team there at the nursing home was great to work with. Really from about start to finish of our substantial procedures, we were done within about a month, which is a relatively quick time frame. So great, and we really appreciate all of the help that they provided. We also do give a report on Minnesota legal compliance, and we did not identify any deficiencies as far as the Minnesota legal compliance was concerned. As far as other deficiencies that we noted in the report, it's going to be similar type of deficiencies to what we reported in the past, and really that are quite common for an organization of the size of the nursing home. Just general financial reporting deficiencies that, you know, we do assist with the financial statement preparation process and some adjusting journal entries as part of the overall audit process. And then also just the fact that the nursing home does, of course, have just a general lack of segregation of duties within the accounting and finance function. You know, we bring these to your attention as a matter of record, but it's more of a cost benefit analysis of, you know, does it really make sense to make substantial changes, or, you know, again, given your size, some of these are probably just some deficiencies that does make sense that you may have some of those limitations. But again, I think it's always something good to be aware of and to consider and know that that is out there. If we go ahead and flip to page 5 of your financial statement packet, that's where the actual statements themselves start. And so you can see the first piece here on page 5, we have the statement of net position, which, and this is the assets and the deferred outflows of resources page. And so you can see there for the year for December 31st, 2025, total assets and deferred outflows of resources were $16,200,985. And so had an overall increase of about $600,000 there in your total assets from 2024 to 2025. And really where most of that came about, it's all going to be up if you look at that total current assets section. The first number that sticks out there is that cash and cash equivalents. So had a nice increase overall in the cash and cash equivalents for the year. And really where a lot of that, there's a few different factors here. One was you received your employee retention credit amounts that you were expecting. So that receivable now went down to 0. You also just had some decreases in the CDs that moved up to cash, but really what overall caused the change in the assets and that increase in the cash was just increased cash flows from your operations. And we'll see that as we actually move forward and look at that statement and just see the results of how Greenwood Connections did in 2020. So overall, any questions on the assets there before we move on? All right, I'll just keep going. Feel free to jump in and interrupt me. Next page there is on the statement of net positions is our liabilities, deferred inflows of resources, and our overall net position or overall equity. And so you can see about 2/3 of the way down the page there is where we have the total liabilities and deferred inflows of resources number, which as of the end of 2025 was $7,313,977. And so had an overall decrease in those liabilities and those deferred inflows of about $639,000. And really what that made up was really two main items. One was just your decrease in debt as you continue to pay down debt. So that was $278,000 just related to debt pay down that decreased those liabilities. And then you also had $465,000 that were related to pension related items. So, and that's really just that actuarial valuation on the pension of what those liabilities are determined to be, those different types of things. So can fluctuate from year to year, but did have that decrease this year just related to more positive performance of the true pension assets that are held with the state. And then overall, your total net position or total equity at the end of the year, end of 2025 was $8,887,008. And so had a really nice positive increase in the net position there, about $1,239,000, which we'll take a look at that further on the next page. Any questions? All right, I'll just keep going. Next page there is page 7, your statements of revenue, expenses, and changes in net position, or more commonly known as your income statement. And so we'll just take a few, we'll basically just work down the page and take a look at some of the different sections here. And so at the very top there is the operating revenues section. And so you can see the total operating revenues for the year ended December 31st, 2025 were $10,230,774. So revenue was operating revenue overall was fairly flat, up about $81,000 or about 0.8%. And you did have an increase in census days of about 4.3%, but also had a decrease in rates. So overall, as that went together, relatively flat, like I said, about a 0.8% increase in the total operating revenue. Total operating expenses for the year were $9,301,970. So increase in expenses about $305,000 or about 3.4%. So overall, not a really drastic or really significant increase in your expenses there, 3.4%. That led to total operating income of the $937,804. Then had some other non-operating type of items. So that's where your interest income and expense flow through, some additional interest related to the employee retention credit amounts that were out there. Overall, that totaled the $301,033 of additional income, which leads you to your total revenues in excess of expenses, or total increase in that net position or net income for the year of the $1,238,837. So overall, another positive operating, or another positive overall bottom line, both operating and with those non-operating items included. Any questions on that? Not, I'm just going to keep going. I just wanted to briefly touch on the statement of cash flows as well, which is the next page on page 8. And so I always think it's important because, our the statements of revenues, expenses, changes in net position, there's a lot of different, there can be cash, there can be non-cash items. So I think it's always important to take a look at that in conjunction with the statement of cash flows as well. And this is where you can see, it shows really where your cash came from during the year and where the cash went. As I had referenced previously, had a nice increase in cash and cash equivalents for 2025. And really a lot of that was in this very top section way at the top that says your net cash from operating activities, which is the $1,178,782. And I point that out because that's important, because that's just your true, what cash are you generating from true operations? That's not any non-operating or unusual items. That doesn't count the ERC, any of that. So it's always good. And as you can see there, over $1 million of that cash flow that you're generating, that's really important. All right, so that's really what I had just as far as high level overview, general items, but I would be more than happy to cover any questions, or if there's any other areas that you'd like me to go through in more detail, I'd be more than happy to do
What net effect will it have when the Greenwood Connections is going to contribute $3 million of cash into this new building project as we look at year-round December 31, 2026? Is it going to have what kind of effect will it have on the picture we're looking at right now? And you don't have to do a deep dive. Just give me an overview.
Yeah, and I think with that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know there's a portion that's being contributed, or the anticipated portion that will be contributed, but I think there's a debt portion that you're looking at as well. Is that correct?
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, there's going to be 3 million contributed by Greenwood, and we're gonna finance the other 6 million plus, isn't it?
Sure.
So we're gonna take on $6 million more of debt.
Yeah, yep. So, and I will be honest, I have not run any of your projections or anything on that, as far as to see what that looks like, what your debt payments would be in comparison. I don't know if that's something that Laura has any, or if that's an analysis that's been done. But yeah, that's definitely something like that what we would want to look at there is, and I know that your team's put a lot of work into looking at it and, making sure that it financially cash flows and makes sense, and your lenders as well. But that's something certainly that you'll want to take a look at is just what do those debt payments, look as it compares to that future cash flow. I don't know, Laura, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I have done that. We had somebody from IBM do that earlier before when we started the project, the debt capacity ratio study, and that is what she's talking about, the debt capacity ratio, which I had provided to you in a spreadsheet or we had talked about. And Mike and I did meet on it as well and looked at the calculation I had, but it's at 1.6, 1.7 for the debt service capacity for the ratio, debt capacity ratio, which is good, right?
That was
Yeah.
just using the income
Yes,
from
yeah.
the new facility.
Yeah.
In actuality, it should
Yeah.
be
So
calculated
it'll be
using
much more.
entire revenue, because the entire facility is responsible for
Yeah.
that.
Right, so when I ask a question, it's to be determined, I understand that, but I just wanted a quick snapshot from you that sounds like it'll be determined as we get further into the project.
Yeah, and it does sound, and I do apologize. I know the study that Laura's referring. I have not been involved with that specific piece, but yes, so it does sound like, so the calculated amount that's very helpful. The amount that was calculated out. So one of the things that's always looked at with something like that is, okay, what, again, with what your cash flow is currently, but also what your cash flow could be, with any type of expansion, what are those new debt payments? So it's sounding like you're going to be at about a 1.1 or almost a 1.2 debt service coverage. And what that means is that you will have essentially 1.2 times the amount of cash flow it's in order to essentially service your debt service, above and beyond what your current expenses are. So yeah, typically, debt can require different things. Some will require, they want you to be at least at 1.1 or at 1. That kind of depends on the specific lenders that you have. But yes, that definitely, and I'd be more than happy to, if you'd like us to speak at a future meeting too, I'll make sure that I can take a look at that and we can absolutely talk through it. Because I think it's really great to take a look at that and, all of those different pieces, because it's a big project and there's a lot happening. So to make sure that, that all of that is making sense.
One thing that she had discussed, and you were asking, what would that 3 million look like, taking that away from our reserves as well? And I have the numbers here, so I don't have to have you calculate it, Ashley, but it is in the minutes, and it does say that there are currently 322 days that we have of cash on hand. And I had asked if we were to remove 3 million, what would that number look like? And she had said the number would be 197 days of cash on hand. And then she explained that the lowest 120 would be the lowest you would want. And they say anything above 150 is positive. So we had discussed that at the board meeting. I'll get a calculation because you already
Yes, the actual days cash on hand, absolutely, yes. So that's where we were at was, so that was just the true cash itself, not factoring in anything else, as far as future, future debt payments and that was just a true, we did the calculation of what just the true, removing that amount of cash
payments right now going forward, that we could operate 322 days with the amount of money that we had currently, but taking the 3 million, it's kind of like asking, like, what does that look like for us? But that still leaves us close to 200 days.
Right.
So
did you have that discussion at the meeting I missed?
Yes, yeah.
And I think, were you gone too?
Yeah, he was gone too, yeah.
Okay, well, we don't use burn up any more time. Thank you.
Yes, my apology. Yes, we did talk about, I misunderstood. I was thinking of it more. Yes, that was absolutely the day's cash on hand. I was getting more into the global look there, so my apologies. Yes, thank you, Laura.
So overall, a positive audit, everything looks good.
Yes. Yes, like I said, it was, a very smooth process, again, some of those financial reporting internal control deficiencies, but not something, out of the ordinary that we would see for an organization, of the size of Greenwood Connections. So, again, I think overall very positive. Anytime we can turn something around in that amount of time without issue, that's not always the easiest to do. We ask for a lot of information. So just really appreciate the team there and all of their help and assistance.
Anybody have anything else for Ashley? All right, I guess we're good, Ashley. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that gets us to the consent agenda, items A through G. We had all that information in the
You
packet
have to make a motion on that or when you.
on the audit. Do we have do we have?
I don't have an action memo for it,
We
but
should to accept, I would think, yeah.
I would move to accept as presented.
Second, yeah. Any more discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. Is that an aye, Bill?
Aye.
Okay. 0. I commend you guys on making it a smooth deal again. All right, so that gets us to the consent agenda, items A through G. I did notice on page 6 of the budget meeting for the adjournment, we had a 5-0 vote, but there was only 4 of us here.
oh, yes.
There wasn't more than here, so take Tomfrey off and make it a 4-0. That was the only thing I noticed in any of those.
I noticed on the May 11th regular council meetings on page 1. In the bottom paragraph, I don't know who the hell Nethersky is.
Where's the combination of Shapursky and Netland, I think, and then I'm Peterson.
Where is
So-
this page 1 of the May 11th?
On the approval of the agenda, line 3.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. That's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, it's in the Netland.
You read these minutes after they're printed?
I mostly go try and double check all the motions to make sure those are correct.
So you don't read the minutes, you
I-
just check motions.
I read the minutes, but when I'm just reading them, Councilmember Mike Nell identified an error, March 30 work session minutes at page 77, noting the minutes were incorrectly stated that the mayor. See, I mean, you could see how I would just blow past that. But
Not really, because I just scanned through them and I caught it.
I will get these corrected.
Anything else in the consent agenda?
Move to approve the agenda.
Okay.
Well, it's all consent, so we don't even have to move it.
Okay.
It's all consent. So then item H there would be Chris update. That's the sheet that you've got on the table for us. An update on our street improvement.
That's right. Mayor, City Council, good evening. Yeah, just wanted to come tonight. If there's any questions off the bat, you can see construction has started out there with the removals of pavements and trees. You got the nice schedule from the contractor here. I made a good sized copy so you can post it on your fridge door at home if you want. But they do have a really fast schedule. We look through here, what we see them doing is ending by, I'll call it the end of August with the construction efforts. So that's great to see. Upcoming work on this, what I'll call the first phase, which will start at Highway 71 down here in Second, come up in front of City Hall. They'll be starting temporary water connections and put that system in and have it tested. So they're looking at starting that pipe work this week, having that ready so they can then start sanitary sewer construction, which impacts the water main as they go along here. One thing to note, you'll see it, but out in front of the water plant and in front of City Hall, the sanitary sewer is pretty deep. At its deepest point, it's 17 feet deep, so
Whoa.
that's quite a big dig for that. So yeah, it's, when you have a trench that deep, your water main pipe next to it is gonna fall in as they're constructing the sanitary. That's what, the process of getting the temporary water set up going to happen first.
Yeah, on separate sides of the street when you gotta dig that deep in sand, it's bad.
Especially old cast iron pipe. But yeah, they're scheduled, great to see. We did mention when we had the pre-construction meeting with them that the midsummer event happening July 10th through 12th is a concern that we want to work around to the best we can with them and their schedule. Try to hold them out of that area as much as possible until after that weekend of events. So they noted that, and from what I'm seeing on here, they're really not starting a sanitary sewer or pipe work, trenching work in that area until the 7th of July. I don't think that's going to happen from what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna back just a little.
Yep.
So
Just a
the
week.
pavement will be gone, but it'll still be a passable road at least.
That's what we talked over. Yep. There's a schedule that permits them to get in to remove the pavement in advance of pipe work beginning soon after midsummer, as long as they have it so it's drivable in essence. You know how it is out here. It's sand material, so it can be a little sketchy with some vehicles. So, but they'll do their best. Up driveways where needed, street entrances and so forth.
We'll be around full force at that point, so if we need them to water down the sand, that people can get through it, it shouldn't be an issue. As long as that sand is wet, it's fine.
So what is the compaction protocol when you're 17 feet down? Do they compact every 3 feet, every 5 feet?
We like to see it with sand of this nature. We give them a flexibility and then come back later and do density testing on the trench itself. And as long as they're meeting a 98% in the trench area down below, then when we get up to street grade level, which is the top 3 feet. So if you go from the asphalt surface down 3 feet, we test them for 100% of compaction in that street zone. Sure that they're building it correctly for the street construction. So,
Well, and you've got that as some gravel in that, I would imagine, that in that top.
yeah, then that's before we place the gravel. They basically go down. We also density test that to make sure they're at 100% with that base underneath.
Can you explain the equipment that you test the density with? Is that radioactive? Does it like shoots? Explain how that machine works, or do you know?
It's a nuclear gauge testing company will use. It's an independent testing firm that does that. But yeah, that's all I know about it.
So are they gonna be on site continuously as the backfill goes on?
They'll be scheduled to come in as areas are ready for compaction testing and before next phase begins. So once they get the pipe trench done and compaction efforts on that pipe trench, then we usually have the testing firm come in and say, hey, these 2 blocks here, we want to test trench compaction before they start grading operations and placement of any class 5 aggregate material.
Where are they out of? I mean, is it a long drive for them to come into town, or
No, it doesn't sound like it. No,
are they from around here, like from Monaga or Park Rapids, or where are they from? Yeah,
out of Forest, Minnesota. He's a veteran-owned company, but he does have resident inspectors that live in Lakes area, is what I know. I'm not sure exactly where they live. They'll travel to various projects. It's a crazy project. so forth.
Don't bounce around and stands.
Yeah.
The only thing that's of concern is to make sure there's good compaction, so you don't get settlement over 2 or 3 years, and pretty soon you get,
Correct.
especially around manhole covers, you get things happening and so the liability for the compaction, if there's something that surfaces 2 or 3 years down the road, is it on the city or on the contractor?
In the first year, we do have a warranty for the contractor's work. That will be covered under first year warranty act. Beyond that, if settlement occurs, I guess it would be, the city would have to fix at that point. But if we're gonna see something, we're gonna see it after the first freeze thaw cycle in the spring. That's when we will address that. Your good soils here, they're easy to compact. It's easy to get the compaction efforts. It's easy to visualize where there is no compaction efforts being done. Our guys, my guys are trained at that too,
Okay.
to make sure to take tests in an area that may seem substandard. So that we can address those areas with the.
When you say 17 feet, that's a lot of dirt that can settle down over time. It's not compacted properly.
Yeah, and I was thinking they would compact that in layers. I'm sure they're not gonna try to put 50 feet of sand in and compact it, you know. It's gonna be a big V.
Yeah.
17 feet deep.
We used to be in the dirt business, we
Yeah.
just dig basements and
Yeah.
we actually put some water and sewer hookups around town here in the sand.
So when are they actually starting to dig?
So it's starting to dig after the temporary water system passes its bacteria testing, and that could be by the end of this week, if they get in here like they're saying on Wednesday. It could potentially push into next week when they would start digging. That's my best guess. We're waiting to hear them firm up their schedule for this week, so we can be here too.
Having looked at the thing, Chris, at the meeting that we had. It was, he still has his guys over doing the other job too. So it's temporary water this week, next week would be around digging Wednesday, Thursday, if they all pass.
Thursday. Or it's an open request.
Once they pass. Yeah, that time frame.
We got close to there, when we backfeed into the house. It doesn't go through the meter. It won't go through the meter when you backfeed from the.
No, not for this time frame. This temporary is not gonna be.
They'll be backfeeding and bypassing the meter. Comes in on
They
the other-
won't be going by gallons for them houses for that time frame until it gets rehooked.
It's gonna charge them the base fee
The
though.
base fee,
Wow, that should be a pretty short time period to, I would think.
yeah,
Fairly short.
It's like we're these blocks like we're doing.
it'll be about a 2 to 3 week time frame that it'll be running out of water.
A little bit of free water for the handful, I guess.
Nothing's free.
Any concerns from the public on the project so far? Yes.
I know True Star had some people getting stuck coming out of their drive-through, but I don't, did you go down and bump some stuff out? Did you put in class 5 down there?
No, I just really packed it good.
Oh, payloaders back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, that's another.
That's the only issue I heard.
Yeah, that and all right out here, people have been about getting stuck. We got water trucks around, that'll take care of that shortly.
Any word from the state of Minnesota?
No word yet. Several on our project, we're waiting. Many cities are waiting. We're talking to other engineering firms too, and they're saying the same results from the state funding agency, from the PFA. They're just so far behind. We've called them. We've had brief conversations to say, when can we expect this? And they won't give a timeline or anything.
Because we can't really move forward with the bonding until we know how much we need.
Exactly.
Sooner or later.
Sooner or later.
Has, you've been working with Ellers on the project. Have they
Me and
given,
Todd have been,
a projected rate on a bond?
no, I mean, the most they said is, because this is, associated with the, utility reconstruct, we're gonna be eligible for the state's AAA rated bond.
That's
You
good.
get a pretty good rate then, huh?
Yeah, I believe so. And once we have some real numbers in front of us, I'm gonna be working pretty tight and fast with Todd to get everything we need up to the council.
I imagine that's what Todd is waiting for at this point is what inputs we're gonna be getting.
I've given him everything I can so far, and yeah, we're at the point where we're
He's
waiting.
got all the financials and everything. they need.
We'll let you know as soon as we know.
All right, anybody got anything else for Chris?
On your sheet here, what are these icons supposed to represent?
I do not know. This came from the contractor. He puts this together.
Oh,
And I don't know if that's some kind of icon you hover over it, maybe give the option of changing something. or- Not sure what that means. It's probably part of their Gantt chart scheduling that they had on the other half of the sheet, but I didn't include it because I wanted it to be readable without readers.
this will be handy though to put on the refrigerator and be able to look at.
There you go.
Yeah, you're right.
You know who the contractor is for the curb and gutter work?
Oh gosh. I can't recall offhand now.
Is it somebody local or from out of town or
I believe they're out of town.
they're out of town?
Concrete?
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out of Annandale, so I'm sure they're not bringing concrete up. They'll be subbing it out to somebody around here, I'm sure, because you can't haul concrete that far, but
I know, just who's gonna do the physical work as far as.
it'll probably be their crew, I would assume. It'll be their crew. I think it was Annandale that got the bid for it, if I remember right.
I can check on it.
No, it's not a big deal. I was just curious if any locals were gonna be working on this project. Probably not.
The pavement.
Oh, Howard's driveway, right?
Yeah.
That would be good to get that done before the cold weather sets too, then.
Well, yeah. With this schedule, that won't be an issue.
All right, so that should do it for you then, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
coming.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, we don't have any public hearings.
I still have a motion, by Mike and a second by Derwin on the consent agenda.
We don't need motions on those, right?
Well, no, just to approve the consent agenda.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. Bill gone.
Nice here.
Go with us, Bill.
Aye.
Yeah,
Okay,
gotcha.
thank you.
Okay, so no public hearings. We got the commission note, planning and zoning. Got a couple things that'll be coming to the council soon. That's that.
This is 2026-17, a resolution accepting donations. Whereas the city of Manatee acknowledges the following donations: $500 from the 2026's Sound of Spirit Lake event, $500 from Shell Sport in support of the Sounds of Spirit Lake event, $2,000 from the VFW in support of Attitude, in support Jans Hair Attitude, Soft J, Hair Attitude in support of 2026 Sound of Spirit Lake event, $100 from Active Acupuncture LLC in support of the 2026 Sounds of Spirit event, $400 from Greener Tomorrows in support of the Sounds of Spirit Lake event, $100 from Spirit Lake Lumber in support of the Sounds of Spirit Lake event, $200 from Scoopology and Spirit Lake Hotel in support of. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Monaga, Minnesota, that the donations described above are hereby accepted with sincere appreciation. Adopted by the City Council of the City of Monaga, Minnesota, this the 8th day of June, 2026.
Motion to accept donations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor of accepting donations, say aye. Aye.
For the Sons of Spirit Lake, Brad, how much does that cost? For the summer?
I don't know. I'd have to get a roll up from Kelly to give you a good number. And their invoices they're intermittent. Sometimes they come in a few times a week. Other times, weeks can go by.
I was just wondering how close to the cost that the donations we've received thus far have been. So on this sheet, if my math is correct, is 4,800.
We might need to get Ralph Kumpela back in here to talk to us about it. I'm not real sure what costs they're incurring, who they're paying, what bands.
They come up with $6,300.
300. Your mouth is wrong. Seems like last year it was somewhere around 10,
I think 10, that sounds.
somewhere in that ballpark.
It was, though, wasn't it, now?
Yeah, we get a lot of donations for that. It's popular.
That's a big event, boy. It gets crowded with people around that band. Have you ever gone to them?
I've never gone to them, but I've seen them.
Yeah,
Seen the crowds. Yeah.
On the water.
Yeah.
Downtown.
I've gone over with my little chair.
Yeah.
It gets really, really crowded. People really enjoy that.
All right, then we've got low potency THC sale. Holiday.
Yep.
They have satisfied all state and local laws in their request.
They have. And this is the last step of that process. It's coming to the council.
Entertain a motion to approve holiday to sell low potency THC products in accordance with state and local law. I'll move it. Get a second?
I'll second.
Darrell. Any discussion?
So, just a quick question. I know it's probably just any dummies and that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's just same as the liquor store. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Carry 4-0. Next set of budget meeting dates. Assuming I'll have it. We just do it before the work session.
That would work better for me.
And that way we know everybody's already planning on being here.
I like that idea.
I'm at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock works great. I'd like to have Laura up front and then followed by water sewer. That works for the council.
So we'll do it at 5 o'clock on the 29th.
Sounds good.
So we have a action for city to pay costs of lifeguard certification.
Council, this is kind of a staff driven request. well, we're not getting lifeguards. I'm scratching my head on what we need to do to get some more coverage here. And I talked with Brian pretty extensively about this, kicking around some ideas. I talked to our newest lifeguard, Ethan, and I asked him, like, do you have friends and would they want to be lifeguards? And I'm like, what's stopping them? He's like, well, they're not certified. I'm like, okay, well, why aren't they getting certified? And he's like, well, it's like $450. They don't have that kind of money. And I'm like, all right, well, if that's all that's in the way, I would say that, all right, city will pay for your lifeguard, but you're going to sign a tuition reimbursement contract with us to work the season. And once that season's over and you leave in good standing, congratulations, you got a certification, come back next year.
Well, we have 2 so far.
2, and one of them's going to leave in the middle of July.
Well, in the middle of July.
Basic training.
Oh,
It doesn't take long to get that certification either. It's about a 2-day course or something.
Yep, that's right.
do we have candidates that would do it if we paid the certification?
I don't have anybody on the hook right now, but pending the results of this decision, I'm going to get the word out there right away, and hopefully we can get somebody or some more folks to come in.
Well, if we had 3 full lifeguards, that beach should be able to be covered 7 days a week from 10 to 6 with 3 guards on duty, or having a staff of 3. There'd be enough guards to have the coverage.
I mean, realistically, I'm still pulling for our own swim instructor as well. I'd like to get at least 4 lifeguards would be, I think, ideal. That would give us a ton of flexibility.
Especially once we get those floaty things, then we're.
Oh, the floaty things too.
Yeah.
That
But that's questionable if they'll be
won't,
here. this
yeah,
year.
I don't think it's gonna happen. Well, it won't happen this year before the beach closes. Beach closes August 15th, so it won't be a this year.
I think any way you can entice more people to be involved and get their certification, it's an investment on safety is what it is.
It is.
Well, I have people have requested they want them. I mean, taxpayers want to see lifeguards, so.
I'd make that motion if that's what you're looking for, Jody.
And you guys are gonna do
And we would allow, say, a couple of them to get certified.
2 or 3 or whatever, then we'd have some people lined up for next year.
say 3 max for the motion.
Yeah.
I'd second that motion with the addendum that if we pay that certification, have those number of guards on duty, that we have coverage from 10 to 6, 7 days a week during the summer.
June 15th, August 15th.
I would agree with that. I'd add an addendum.
Comments? As all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries 4-0.
Just one more question for you, Brent. Did the lifeguard you talked to, did he say when they did the certifications? Are they ongoing all the time, do you know? Did he say?
No, but I believe that there's at least once a month. Yeah. And, a long-term plan of mine is to have somebody that works for the city that is qualified to train and certify lifeguards and bring that completely under our.
We have one in the audience.
That would certainly be nice. And you had written that in terms of the life or the swimming lessons, Detroit Lakes reached out.
They did reach back to us. They asked some questions. I responded. I haven't heard anything yet. I don't want to air it out too much and give any false hope, but we're pursuing it. And as soon as I have something positive, you folks will be the first to know.
All right, that brings up the Leesburg Learning Center. And this will run through the LMC attorney basically right off of their website. It's got our numbers and whatnot in it, June 1st, 26th to June 1st, 27. From Mahooby Head Start. Some use out of our building. Good community service.
It's good public use of a public facility.
It is.
Get a motion to.
I will move the adoption of the lease agreement to lease two heads, Monaga Head Start.
I would second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Did the,
Bill, you on there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We get an aye for that lease.
That's all right.
did the roll-offs, arrive?
Both of them?
Yep.
Okay, yep.
Well, the one for to put the learning center stuff in has,
Excellent.
the other one for the other stuff is.
And you have the wooden mats to put it on?
Oh, yeah.
Are we gonna try to get rid of some of that stuff before we stuff it in the container or?
As of now, I mean, we'll put it in there. We'll have to try to figure out a garage sale of some sort or see on where to, we'll just store it in there for now.
All right, that moves us on to authorization for fire department to seek quote.
Golly, we had a fire department committee meeting on Thursday, June 4th, and the topic of discussion was seeking a new 2,000 gallon capacity tanker to service the area. I'll turn it over to both committee members for comment here.
They said that it's getting to where they need a different one. We asked about used, and they said that they look, but nothing's out there. What they do see are tankers that don't have the gallonage capacity that they need.
500 gallons.
Yeah, 800, 500. It just doesn't have the gallonage capacity that they need. And they were gonna get appraisal of the existing tanker to know how much they could advertise it for, but it's like a 2-year lead out.
Oh, yeah.
It's built in Laverne, Minnesota, which I didn't know. Yeah, yeah. Laverne gets the chassis in, and then Laverne, Minnesota actually puts the unit together. It takes 2 years, so they wanna get the bid anyway to find out what it can be done for, and then probably be coming into the council to look for authorization. But for now, it's just to get the bids that they're after.
Yeah, I think one thing that was kind of question of, is it a want or a need? And they definitely said it's gonna be a need.
Well, what is ours? 20,
21 years old,
21?
something like that.
It's out there.
And I mean, it was crazy because they said that they had gotten it bid. How long ago was it? Do you remember?
19, no, it's 19,
Yeah.
2019.
It was like 600,000.
Yeah, it's more.
No, it's over a
That's
million.
that, yeah. It's like everything else.
But that would be every bell and whistle. They said we can pull some stuff out of it to bring that price down. And that's what we want to find out.
Yeah, get a real quote on what they want.
So I would make a motion to approve the authorization to get bids.
I'll second that. Julie.
Any more discussion? Was all those in favor say aye? Aye. Gotcha. Thanks, Bill. And then we get to Greenwood. Laura.
Have you guys noticed all the work that's been going on over there?
I took my electric bike back in there.
Trees are down.
Yeah, they had some trees down. There's trees piled up around her. Are they slowly cleaning that out then? Or?
Yeah, I didn't go back. I didn't check today, but had a lot of it. Yeah, they were,
Looks really different over there.
they dumped all the trees they left a few trees up by the building. I questioned that a few times. I kind of, if you took everything else down, why not take those two? They're very tall Norways, about 6 of them, and then one oak tree. But they said, well, they can stay there if it's not in the, if it's not in the, you know, if it doesn't interfere with anything like the gas or anything or the construction, but I just had,
I was worried
it
about,
wasn't in the plan, I guess.
I worry about the big tall ones when they lose their brothers, cause then they
Yeah.
become weak and fall down.
Right.
Then
There's
they're all
like 6 of
fall
them
on.
there. They kind of, I mean, if it's not in the drawing to take them out, then it would cost us to have them removed, but I know some residents are really happy that they're there and wanted them there, but with when they took everything else out, they got 6 tall Norways there. It looks kind of funny. Wouldn't be opposed to leaving the one oak. It's a lot, it's shorter and that would actually probably branch out more if it didn't have all the other trees around it, but there were about 4 other oak trees. Brandon today said it's too bad he didn't realize that, you know, when they took everything, there were 4 other ones I questioned because I'm like, I don't see how that they were right behind the garage and kind of on the side there. Didn't see how those would be in the way for anything, but they pretty much clear cut everything over there. A lot of acres of trees they cut there. So, and I didn't understand going so far back, but I know there was like that drainage pond. You know, we have a lot of stuff in there, and the part of it, I mean, even when the road coming through or that driveway coming through, you know, I was told that for sure everything on this side of that sign would stay, and I saw they cut a big one down, but I think it had to do with the way the gas line was coming through. So there was a big oak tree that I saw fall all morning. You could see just leaves and branches, and it was like, oh, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, like as everything was falling, it's like, I mean, it has to, it's gonna look bad until it looks better, right? It's a construction process, but boy, when it was hot last week, could you feel like about a 20-degree increase in temperature?
I bet when you lost the shade. Yeah.
You could just feel the heat and it was so dry and
We
You
could,
can always replant trees.
yeah.
they start flying concrete, then you really feel heat.
Now that the process has actually started, have you been getting any increase in the calls coming in on it?
Not really, I don't think, or I haven't asked Cheryl about it. She gets calls and I don't think we have. I'm not
Probably
sure.
once the
Yeah.
building starts going up.
Once they start seeing it, we'll probably get more. I'm not really concerned. I really feel like we'll have no problems, so I hope I'm right in filling it. But yeah, it's going on. There is a groundbreaking ceremony on June 22nd at 10 o'clock. They did the morning because Jody said he would be available in the morning on the 22nd. So that's
What time?
Monday, 10 o'clock. They did do some graphic things and posted on our Facebook page, but I wonder about the city. The city put it on theirs too. Brett, should I send it over to you? For the city Facebook page?
Yeah, please do.
And that will be held where?
Yeah, over at Green, over in that circular drive, somewhere over there. I have no idea where they plan. Obviously, you know, when they have everything dug up, I don't know if they go somewhere where there's no ground that's been disturbed, but that might be hard to find, right?
Do they have a gold shovel?
They'll have them. So. Yeah, so that will be, the 22nd at 10 o'clock.
It's open to the public.
Yes.
Okay.
I was wondering about, having the board, because the board meeting was supposed to be that day. So I didn't know if we should have it. We can just, I need to kind of decide on this. Should we have the board meeting later in the day or try to have it that morning afterwards instead of having people come back?
It'd be nice and
Nice to have it all at once. And the
Yes.
board meeting At 11.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, maybe doing the board meeting right away afterwards. I wouldn't say they should last longer than an hour, so.
So are you gonna send out a memorandum to everybody?
Yeah.
Change the time.
So yeah, so that we still don't have the plans back from the state, so they can't actually start digging. I mean, so the 22nd is not, it's groundbreaking, but I don't know what date they'll actually be able to technically break ground, other than the tree removal. They can't start digging until
Still waiting on that permit.
And as of today, they hadn't heard nothing yet, so.
Did they
So-
indicate what the holdup from the
It
state?
just is, it's in their queue and that's just them. It's not,
It's the state, that's what.
Yeah.
the whole-
it's in their queue and the same with the Department of Health. I guess it hadn't been reviewed yet either. I don't see any problem there because the architect should have had plenty of conversations with them, so that one shouldn't hold us up too much, but it's interesting. I was listening to like Chris talk and you guys are waiting on the financing. So the financing part is done and that was done last week. It ended up being a day later because they were waiting on on something from us to say, and Brett was waiting on me. And an interesting thing, and the reason when that email came out saying, hey, we need something from the city, and Brett was like waiting, he didn't want to step on my toes and say, hey, is this good to go? But I was over at the bank dropping off a check so they could file it with the county. Now, why Eric didn't say, hey, we're waiting on you to say yes, but this is kind of my yes because I'm giving you a check. So anyway, it got done on Friday. So the funds were deposited and it didn't really matter. I mean, we've been using the funds that we have, that 3 million to anyway. So, but now it's there. So that's done for us. We have that part of it done. I said, you guys are waiting on and we're waiting on our plans and you're waiting on the financing yet. So, but, yeah, once they get going, they're talked about, like, the first thing would be, we have that room in, tying into our assisted living. So, doing some demo work first, to be able to tie in once they start digging. So our census has been very good for the nursing home. We are at 60 today. We've been around that 60 for the entire month. So that puts us like at about 92% on the census. So I'm hoping that we had a really good month for May. Starting June out good as well.
TCU is almost full.
Yeah, they will possibly be full in the next 2 days if we get the admissions and nobody leaves. If we have one leaving there tomorrow, but then possibility of 3 admissions by the end of the week. So that could put us at 16, and we haven't been to 16 since 2020. So yeah, so and then our long stay is, we have a couple empty rooms again, but I said before, I mean, those are semi-private rooms. But otherwise, we did have a positive bottom line for April, 61,649. We still have not had any nurses. I did have a call again today from that recruiter that had, and he's like, he left me a message and said, I have lots of nurses in your area. I didn't call him back, but I'm like, how do you have lots of nurses? So I don't know. I mean, he said that they can waive some of it. So I might have another conversation with him because there's some reason, or they can change some of that because we didn't like that 30-day, wasn't it 30 days that they would guarantee if the person to stay. So he said maybe they can change some of that. So maybe if we have some pushback on saying that, if you can change that from like, we're going to pay this money out, but if it's a longer period of time to guarantee if they stay, and if they don't stay, they find us somebody else, maybe we can work with that. But that was why we really didn't want to go with it, was with the recruiter, because they wouldn't guarantee very long, and then they charge you 30,000 over. So if someone didn't stay with us, would cost us was it 1/2 of their year salary or something? So but so the Woodside Manor call system and the door security, all that is done now. Advanced Wireless came last week and they connected this call system with the radios and the smoke detectors. They're all connected with the weight radios, and everything is done with that right now. So that's good. Now we're finished with that and have it operating correctly. Otherwise, I've been very busy. I went on vacation for a week and I paid for it the next week for sure. And the week before I left,
We had that thought.
yeah, last week was crazy, but they started, there was a lot of stuff going on last week. So I was really busy when I came back. But again,
Another good report. We'll move to accept Lauren's inward connection report.
So,
Second, Drew?
yeah.
Any more discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
That'll be 3-0.
Thank you, and I guess I can leave, right? I don't have to stick around, so, thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, then entertain a motion to adjourn.
Before we adjourn, I have one other question related to fencing for the liquor store. Did they go ahead and buy that? Did they get a quote
No.
locally or?
No, I didn't get another quote from them. Otherwise it'd be here. I think they're talking about in the short term, they're thinking about renting some of the big cattle, pen, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. They're talking about renting them for this year. I'm still pushing for a long-term solution. Heather did look around, but she couldn't find anything that was close. So, there is a possibility that we're gonna possibly pay a little bit of a hefty, shipping fee.
Where are they being shipped from again?
These are being shipped from Florida.
How do you think there'd be something in the Twin Cities or Chicago or?
One of the
We kind of looked at the difference of prices and they were.
Oh, that's what Heather was saying. The cost of the shipping made it cheaper than getting them around here. Still, it was cheaper with less freight on it.
Yeah, it was cheaper these sides.
Cheaper out of Florida, even with the freight.
The high freight.
When we looked at the other ones, it was around 6,000 to 7,000 for around here compared to what the price that we had with.
Well, then it would be a no-brainer, then. That's what it costs, that's what it costs.
Well, we're doing our due diligence, right? So,
That's what we're looking into, and that's what we've seen is the difference in price, and we're like, well, it doesn't. Shipping's cheaper.
Can you get them here in time for midsummers or not?
we're gonna have a solution for midsummer regardless.
I'm not getting in on that one, but I'm just saying, just seemed like it was a little bit, when you say do your due diligence when 30 or 40% of the cost for shipping.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense to me.
Nope.
Well, what really doesn't make sense is that still is the cheapest alternative, even with the freight. That really is.
Well, and I guess before we adjourn, I did have a guy, I only know 2 people that do block work anymore. There's hardly any of them. I had a guy come and look at this and look at all the blocks around the building that need to be chunked up.
Yeah.
So to completely wipe out this in front and start over and replace all the blocks and seal up 2 feet around the whole building, it's about 10 grand.
Well, we figured it was gonna be spendy, but it's gotta be done.
Yeah, so it's just something we can have that on the work session agenda.
If
We
you
wanna
can,
move forward with it.
yeah, I would like to move forward with it.
These cannot be patched up here unless, I mean, you
Yeah,
can
they're
shove,
simple.
you can shove some concrete.
Yeah,
in
they're
there.
gone. If you could tell them to give me a quote, I'd love to put this in the packet.
Yeah. Who gave you the quote?
It's, Mutz, something, I got a card from him. Seidel Mutz, he's a union guy and then he does this stuff separately. He's kind of
Oh, the sideline.
sideline stuff. And then I tried to get Glenn Shakursky to look at it, but he's beyond that anymore, I think, doing that kind of stuff. So they're really hard to find. All right, now we can entertain a motion to adjourn. Mike?
Sorry.
Darwin, all in favor, say aye. Aye. 7:09.
Thank you everyone for attending. We are going off stream.
Yeah, so I'll have him throw a quote together and
Your,
get it dropped off to
over there.
before that.
Okay.
Under